Welcome to Reviews on the Run. We have all kinds of proof that the PlayStation 2 is alive and kicking. Today on Reviews on the Run, Tommy and I are taking a look at God of War 2, SSX Blur, Def Jam Icon, and it versus its MLB 2K7 against MLB 07 The Show. Some of the games we look at on Reviews on the Run are intended for a mature audience. Please pay attention to each game's ESRB rating. All right, first game we're going to talk about is one of the most anticipated games of 2007. It is God of War 2.
Yep.
And oh my God, is this game fantastic. It's from the people at Santa Monica Studios, Sony's Santa Monica Studios for the PS2.
Yep.
And it is by far the best game I can play on the PlayStation 3 right now.
The PlayStation 3?
Yes.
Yeah, that's pretty funny.
It's
true, too.
It's amazing. It's incredible.
That's
and
a good one.
You play a game like this and you go, why do I need a PlayStation 3?
Right.
Why do we need next generation?
Imagine what God of War 3 is going to look like on the PlayStation 3.
I know, and people have to take that first leap on the software, but they made the right choice sticking with the PS2.
They did, because people forget that there's 120 whatever million PlayStation 2s out there.
They know how to tweak this machine.
Lots of people are still using PlayStation 2, and this is the title that cannot be missed over anything else.
Unbelievable.
I mean, this game, the look, the graphics in this game look better than most Xbox games.
They look better than us.
They look better than us.
Yep.
They look just as good as the PlayStation 3 and Wii games. I know. It's unbelievable.
I know. It's a fixed camera. I mean, the computer takes control of the camera, so maybe it's not opening up and showing you every single part of the world. But that's a very smart thing for these guys to do, because the camera AI is intelligent.
Yes.
It follows Kratos perfectly.
Yes.
You never feel like you need to control the camera.
Correct.
And they've added extra kinds of abilities. Kratos was a kick-ass dude in the original God of War. Now he can do cool things like throw out his chains and actually swing from them.
Yeah.
There's riding the Pegasus type levels with flaming wings on the Pegasus.
And that's the big story for me, is that you can actually get on a Pegasus. I would have liked to have seen more flying levels, in fact.
Yeah, the storytelling, the script writing, like right at the beginning, Kratos kind of loses all his powers, so he has to go back and kind of get them again, and he has to fight Zeus, and just...
And how about the music as well?
Music's phenomenal.
Music, Gerard Marino coming back and doing the music again, unbelievable.
This is state-of-the-art video game development, man. This is what we are all passionate about. This is why we buy our consoles. This is the real deal. This game is going to do so well. We're going to see this character in all kinds of stuff. I can't wait till Sony makes the...
Rumored there's a God of War movie even coming.
I would expect to see
300 style.
Kratos kart racing. We're going to see Kratos in a Super Smash Brothers ripoff game. Imagine that.
No.
Kratos is like kicking ass on Ratchet and Clank.
Kratos tennis.
There you go, Kratos tennis.
The sheer size and scale, they've got some big-ass statues in this game, but they also have these horses.
Yeah.
And you're on the chains of the... It's unbelievable.
I was trying to like lift fingers of a giant off. He held my Pegasus under him, and I had to like I was at his nail. I was just like a little sliver, and I was like trying to hit the fingers so they would get off my horse. It was ridiculous. It's a mature-rated game, though, we should say that.
It is mature-rated.
Lots of people getting their heads cut off, lots of cool bosses.
Blood.
It did not have to be this way, my son. This path is of your choosing.
Incredible game.
But the thing is about the violence, too, that it's just not like thrown in for violence sake.
No.
I mean, because
or
of the
sex,
style
because
of the
there's
game.
sex in the game, too.
Oh, shoot, we forgot to talk about the sex.
Did you like the sex?
You know, it was okay.
It was good. It was good sex in the game. Everything's been refined and finessed. It just plays beautifully.
It's like,
If you're over 18, you own a PlayStation 2, you don't have this game, you're just hurting yourself. Why do it? Get it. It's a classic. This is what we all play games for. 10 out of 10.
10 here as well.
On the positive side, they've refined all of the fantastic elements from the previous God of War gameplay. You can ride a Pegasus with flaming wings and get some real cool flight action going on. Classic storytelling and lots of sex and violence for Tommy there as well.
Gadoosh. On the negative side, it's mature rated, which means that if you're too young, you can't play it. Na 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 na.
Hola amigos, mi llamo Victor Lucas, and I've been playing Chile Con Carnage on my PSP, and it's kind of a de facto type sequel to Total Overdose, which came out on the PlayStation 2 and Xbox not too long ago. That was an okay game. It was pretty fun, pretty goofy. It was kind of like a Robert Rodriguez Grand Theft Auto type ripoff. And this follows in that vein, although they've trimmed down the gameplay considerably, so they've really just focused on the combat and jumping into these very, very fun and explosive situations, and all the story bits are sort of told in little cutscenes between each of the different levels that load up. Total over-the-top kind of stuff. You're jumping in slow motion and shooting at bad guys all over the damn place. You're picking up shotguns and rifles and blasting away at explosive barrels. Lots of kind of crazy dialogue. Cool music. I like the visual effects. The controls take a little bit of getting used to, but I think that has more to do with the lack of the dual analog on the PSP. I enjoyed this. Big surprise. Chile Con Carnage for the PSP is definitely worth checking out. I'm going to give it a 7.5 out of 10. All right, it's a Wii game after the break. We're talking about SSX Blur, an exclusive for the Wii, right after this. Whee! Buried Treasure is brought to you by Rogers Video. The experience starts here. Hey, in the video game industry, sometimes when you innovate too much and you come up with something that's a little bit different than everything else out there, it's sometimes difficult to find your audience, and that I think was the case with the original Full Spectrum Warrior. It was successful enough to warrant a sequel, but by the time Full Spectrum Warrior 10 Hammers came out, people had kind of moved on a little bit, and this game didn't do that well in the marketplace, but it is still a very cool, very original, unique experience on the console. It's out there for the PS2, the Xbox, it's also out for the PC. And the thing about this game is that you're not really taking control of characters within the battlefield. You've got more of a tactical perspective here. You're actually commanding troops, and that can include different soldiers with different capabilities and different weaponry, but it can also include some vehicles as well. You may kind of get that itchy trigger finger and feel like you want to jump into battle and press the button and fire the weapons yourself, but if you're looking for a thinking person's tactical strategy action war game, go check out Full Spectrum Warrior 10 Hammers for the PlayStation 2, Xbox, or PC. Welcome back. We're talking now about SSX Blur. It's from EA Canada.
This isn't appropriate.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Background.
Let's fix that. There we go. Snowy Mountains. We're talking about SSX Blur from EA Canada, and it's an exclusive for the Wii. It's a little chilly, right? That's where I brought my jacket. Yeah, see, I'm not stupid. Now, what did you think about SSX Blur?
Well, here's the thing. You know, they went more cartoony with the graphics, with the characters. Well, see, but this is...
I think it's fine.
But go with me on this for a second.
Take a walk with you on this idea?
Take a walk with me. Come on, let's go.
We're going to walk. Okay, tell me about it.
So what I'm saying is, people don't want Nintendo to be looked at as the kiddie machine.
Right.
But if they have cartoon graphics like this,
yeah,
then people are going to think that the system is kiddie.
That it can only be for kids.
Yeah, why not just keep it realistic?
Yeah, but
that's the thing.
I think if you look at what the developers were thinking, they're thinking they can have a little bit of fun in this direction. It's appropriate for the content. These are kind of wacky characters.
But it's the developers.
And it's not like they turn them into cartoon, like Saturday morning cartoons.
But it's just a little more kid style,
well,
and it didn't need to be.
I didn't get kid style.
Now talk to me about the controls though, because I mean...
Right, that's what the story is here for sure.
The basic controls, I didn't have too much problem with, but then when you had to start to get into the tricks
are hard, man. You feel like you have to actually write out letters and symbols and stuff.
And I was doing it, it wasn't doing the trick.
I could do like one or two, and then there were some really complicated ones, and you have to do them before you land on your face. Right. And I did a lot of landing on my face in this one, yeah, you know.
Is that why your head swelled?
That's not nice.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Take that back.
I take that back.
All right, see, no, but there are a lot of little intricacies that you kind of have to deal with in a very short amount of time. But that's part of the fun and part of the challenge of the Wii.
But it's too challenging. The Nintendo machine is supposed to be for everyone, right?
Yeah.
You know, and so why not make it a really simplistic, cool game like this? Because that part I did like.
You can just do that. You don't have to do the stunts.
Yeah, but you can't go anywhere.
Well, you get a nice big mountain to start off with. You need to get the big points.
Your mom isn't going to be playing this game because it gets too complex.
Well, this is Nintendo's other part of the argument, that they are making games for hardcore gamers. cars. You get 3 different mountains, lots of different competitions. You get your big air, you get the half pipe, you get the races, you get the slalom events, and then you get a bunch of cool little micro challenges that they totally ripped off from Amped, but that's okay.
There were some noticeable frame rate issues in there, you know. I need to control my player better than this.
Yeah, but I had fun. I think it's a solid purchase for Wii fans out there. I'm gonna give it a 7.5 out of 10.
I'm giving it a 6.5.
On the positive side, you get 3 different mountains and lots of different activities to jump into. The character designs have been changed up a little bit. I liked them a lot. Tommy didn't dig them that much. And because of the controls, it is a very unique way to play SSX.
On the negative side, there's some frame rate issues. I didn't like the fact that the characters went even more cartoony, but what annoyed me the most was trying to do those Uber tricks with the controller. It's just way too inaccurate and inconsistent.
All right, don't go away. We have another EA game, but it's for the Xbox 360 PS3. It's Def Jam Icon right after this. All right, so we know that almost every game released today has mini games attached to it. Well, here's an example of a mini game turned into a maxi game. It's the whole thing. The premise here, it's one of those games, you know, where you read a newspaper or something and you see 2 pictures and you got to circle what's wrong or what's different with one picture over the other. That's the whole game. It's called Quick Spot from Namco for the DS, and it works well with the stylus and the touchscreen and all that. Very cool idea, but it feels like it should have just been buried in a WarioWare or something like that. I mean, it just doesn't feel like it's fleshed out enough. You'll see the same images crop up over and over again, and yes, it's pretty challenging trying to find exactly, you know, what's missing, and then later on in the gameplay, you'll actually see some animation in some of the images as well, and there'll be multiple places where you have to circle to find what's different. All that stuff I like, it's just, it's too thin. This could have easily been bundled in with any number of other kinds of games out there. I'm gonna give Quick Spot for the DS 5.5 out of 10. Welcome back. We're talking about Def Jam Icon. This is the 3rd in the Def Jam fighting game series from EA and Def Jam Records. What did you think of Def Jam Icon?
Well, they took a little bit of a different approach this time around.
They went with the Fight Night team out at EA Chicago. They said They did such a great job with Fight Night Round 3. Let's make them get to work on a street fighting game with your favorite rappers.
Well, that sounds like it should make sense, doesn't it?
Well, no, not really.
No. But
they should have just been working on more Fight Night.
Fight Night
as far
stuff.
As I'm concerned.
Yeah.
I didn't like this game. This one feels so slow. It feels like they went back to the roots of the old wrestlers.
It's kind of like the boxing game.
Yeah.
You know, boxing's, you know,
a little more sim-oriented or something?
Than opposed to like a Tekken style.
Yeah, but I liked it in boxing. I thought the boxing fits great. I mean, it was beautiful. But this, you want it to be more kind of fast action and you know, immediate and a little more action-packed. This felt really cumbersome. Cool effects, beautiful graphics. Loved all the explosions and
here's the thing,
the stuff beatboxing in the background.
The kick drum or the beat would actually light up, you know, the different areas. If you're in a club, it would light up the floor, the effects, you know, equalizer effects on the walls and things. And then
the city actually shakes when you're playing in the gas station level. You can actually see all the city just sort of pumping. And
there's all these color intensity that changes.
Yeah.
In fact, each fighter kind of has their own color, and depending on whose music's being played, gives you a slight advantage over that.
Yeah.
And the screen changes and the music changes.
There's no heads-up display on any of the data unless you want it. You can choose to have it on there, but basically you're just getting the information from the game itself and for what the players look like, which is pretty cool. So they got all these cool kind of environments. You got lots of different rappers. You got Little John's in there. You got Ludacris. You got Big Boy. You got Ghostface Killah. All kinds of stuff.
All your favorites.
I like some of these guys, sure. I like the build a label mode, which is kind of like the story mode in the game. You actually have to start, you know, rising up the ranks, and you take over from your mentor who gets shot in this drive-by kind of killing. The loading times in between selecting the players, that just drove me, it's insane.
Right, the create a player mode.
And create a player is so cumbersome and slow. I mean, it's cool stuff, but it just takes so long to get into it all. And then the fighting was slow. So that's my overall, you know, perception of the game, is that it's just slow and cumbersome. What are you going to give Def Jam Icon?
I'm giving it a 7.5.
You liked it that much, huh? I was disappointed. 5.5, man.
On the positive side, I thought the graphics were really well done. The special effects and explosions were nice. They really captured the whole urban atmosphere, very authentic there. But the coolest part for me was the way the music really interacted with the gameplay. Nice going.
On the negative side, there's a lot of loading times in this game, even between choosing different outfits for your character. We like the environment, so it would have been nice to have even more of them. But I think the worst of all is that the game feels really slow. It doesn't feel anywhere near as supercharged as the last Def Jam game. All right, today in hardware we have Naki's DS Lite Swing Grip Case. It's a case for your DS Lite, and basically it is exactly what the title is. You have a couple of grips that slide out, and you can swing them so that you make them a little bit larger, and then you have a clear plastic covering so you can still see your cool DS Lite, the top part of it, and then you can flip it out and you can actually play your DS Lite like... Looks like a PSP.
Kind of makes it look like a PSP, doesn't it?
It kind of does. Yeah,
Here,
careful. What are you doing?
You can take yours out.
Yeah.
I'm about to one-up you, sir.
Oh, look, they even have cool little DS little nooks. Put the cartridges in. And you get your stylus thing in there.
I'm gonna put in my.
Oh, nice. He's got his.
My signed Miyamoto and Koji Kondo.
Yeah, that's nice.
DS.
Once that's it, now that's mine. Are you giving this to me?
No.
That's awesome. Okay, basically very simple kind of device.
I will drop this if you don't give it.
All right, I'll give it.
Yeah, no.
All right, it's a very simple device. The clear plastic kind of covering thing on it. It's a little bit flimsy, so don't expect too much protection from there. It also comes with a couple of clear plastic pens, which they call DS comfort holders.
Okay.
So it's very cheap.
And this is soft though too. It's like soft rubber. It feels good.
That is almost pretty cool, except that it doesn't hook over the DS, so it feels like it could fall out.
Well, look, it's $15.
If you're looking for some grips for your DS, $15 isn't going to kill you. I'm going to recommend it.
I will as well. I mean, I wouldn't personally use it, but I think a lot of people out there might get a kick out of it.
All right. All right, stick around. After the break, we're taking a look at 2 baseball games for your PS2. It's MLB 07 The Show against Major League Baseball 2K7. Right after this. Welcome to the Hit List. Here are 5 of our favorite recent sports games. Number 5 is Rockstar Games presents Table Tennis. Number 4, NBA 2K7. Number 3, Fight Night Round 3. Number 2, NHL 07 for the PSP. And number 1, NBA Street Home Court. Hey, welcome back. It's not just God of War 2 that's out there proving that the PS2 is alive and well. Thank you very much. We have 2 baseball games to talk about in Versus today. We've got MLB 07 The Show, or MLB The Show 07. Going up against MLB 2K7, Major League Baseball 2K7. Sony 2K Sports.
Let's call them The Show and 2K.
Yeah, just to keep things simple. Yeah. The Show versus 2K7. Graphics. How do they stand up against each other here?
Well, you know, I kind of like the detail a little bit more in the Show. Yep. I think the animations are excellent.
It's the animations, absolutely.
They really have taken a lot of care and time.
It's the San Diego team at Sony, and they are so proud of the mocap work that they do on that game. Yeah. I mean, they labor over it, and they've obviously got a huge library of mocap animations, and they're using them.
And each of the pitchers and catchers and all the batting stances are
and the
just like it.
Too.
I mean, when
stadiums look fantastic.
When Jeter's up there, he's got his high elbow. I mean, it's really incredible.
Hey, who's this guy with the shaky?
That's Gary Sheffield.
Yeah, he freaks me out every time he comes up to the plate.
See him in real life.
I don't know when to swing because he's just, I get mesmerized. I'm sorry. I look at the bat. I'm doing one of these, and then the ball goes right over the plate. I miss it every single time. The animations in 2K7, they're not horrible. I think they did a pretty good job there as well.
Right. They also match the players accordingly and match it up. But
it's almost like some frames of animation have been skipped out. It's like it's not choppy, but it just doesn't seem as fluid and graceful as MLB 07. And the environments too, they don't look as good as well. Graphics, who wins?
MLB The Show.
MLB The Show for me too. Now what about an audio? I mean, I think it's even a tighter race this time than the graphics.
They're really, in baseball games, it's a lot about the VO and the play-by-play commentary.
They make it a kind of like a very homey, comfortable kind of thing, right? There's a lot of time to fill because you're waiting for batters to get up to the plate and all that stuff.
Now on the show you have Dave Campbell, Matt Vasgersian, and Rex Hudler.
Yeah.
Rex Hudler, which is the same guys from last year, and they do a great job.
Yeah.
But also in 2K7, you have John Miller and Joe Morgan.
Yep.
There's a swing and a ground ball.
Great commentary on both games.
All around. So for audio, I'm going to give them a tie.
I agree. I think they both sound fantastic. They're both really good sounding games. I'm giving them a tie as well. Gameplay,
right.
2K7 features the ability to use the right analog thumbstick as sort of the batting control.
Right.
And I didn't really like it.
No.
I tried it. I thought it was okay, but I just never felt like I was really making a timed contact with the pitch. You know, it felt kind of fluky.
The other problem in 2K7 is the online modes as well. Now
they're buggy.
They're very in-depth.
I think they put all of their resources onto the next gen.
But the problem is that the frame rate is just unplayable on the PlayStation 2.
Well, yeah, especially when you're playing online.
Yeah, because it's all about timing and is it a fastball or a changeup?
Even in the single-player game, it feels a little bit choppy when you're swinging with the right thumbstick. I thought that was a bit weird.
The show is awesome. It's always been awesome. It was always my favorite game, even when the MVP EA game was around.
Yeah, you always liked the game, yeah.
I always liked this one better.
You know what I think about the show, though? It's not overly flashy. It's not like it goes out of its way to innovate. It just does everything well, and they do subtle refinements every year.
And it's very in-depth in terms of career mode, franchise mode.
Road to the Show.
Road to the Show, which they had last year in the PSP version.
Right.
And that's really the only thing they added in this year, because it really is
not much different from the last.
roster.
Neither game is much different from the previous
But
year.
in this, what you can do is you can start out in the minor leagues and you work your way up.
There's a lot of depth in 2K7's game as well. Good franchise mode. There's like home run derbies, all the usual suspects.
The home run derbies.
You know, but it felt more fun. It felt deeper, more satisfying playing the show. All right, so which game did you like the gameplay better for?
The show, MLB The Show.
Me too. I thought the show was just better packaged. Overall, though, which one did you like more?
MLB.
MLB The Show for me too. What are you going to give MLB 07 The Show?
8.5.
I'm going to give that an 8.5 as well. And what about Major League Baseball 2K7?
I'm going to give that a 7.5.
7 from me. There you go, 2 baseball games for the PlayStation 2. Both very good games, but no question about it, the show is the one to go for.
And stay tuned, though, because coming up in a future show, we got to do the next-gen baseball games.
Absolutely.
I'm really looking forward to those.
I want to see what the show looks like on PlayStation 3.
That's right.
Big time. Today on the show, we took a look at God of War 2. Incredible storytelling and superb gameplay, but this one's definitely not for the kids. SSX Blur. Lots of different events and the new innovative Wii controls, but the Ubers are tough to nail. Def Jam Icon. Great visuals and terrific interactive music sequences, but the gameplay is so sluggish, it's painful. In Versus, it was MLB 2K7. The right thumbstick batting is definitely unique, but it's not that fun, and the online play is a little chuggy. Against MLB 07 The Show. This one features great animations and lots of cool details, but it's not that much of an improvement over previous years. Out of these 2 baseball games for the PlayStation 2, The Show is our clear winner. The Rogers Video Game of the Week is God of War 2. What, are you surprised? I mean, why didn't Sony make a progressive scan? 2K7 is progressive scan.
Let's call him.
You're going to call Sony?
I'm going to
You're going to call, this might take a while.
Call Phil Harrison. Victor wants to know why MLB The Show is in progressive scan for the PlayStation.
Yeah, what's going on with that?
For the PlayStation 2. He says it is.
No, it isn't. No, he's wrong. He's not playing his own game.
You're not playing the right game. Hello?
He hung up on you. There it is. You see? That's not cool.
Maybe it's just bad cell reception.
Yeah, all right. Okay, so...